morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Dratnos' Civ 5 Let's Play, Gods and Kings, Game of the Year Edition, etc. Cool. So, we've got our Stonehenge built. Now it's time to decide what we're going to build next in London. And we've got a few more choices this time around. We could go with a settler. That would allow us to go grab a new city. That'd be pretty cool. We could go for a worker, which should be potentially a good choice as well. Try and get a spearman for another unit to move around, or an archer to give our city more defense. We could get a scout so that we could explore a bit better. We could get a warrior, which should probably be a worse choice than a spearman. Or we could get a barracks. It's also worth noting that we have the gold here to just purchase something. So, if we wanted to, we could just buy a settler, because we have sufficient gold. So, why don't we do that? Let's get this game going. Let's rock on. Let's take charge. Let's grab London by the horns. I suppose the metaphor kind of fell apart. All right. Second choice. Oh wait, hang on. Let me just quickly turn on the sound for this particular game here because I turned it off before. There we go. Sound's back on. I hope that didn't stop the recording or anything. I believe it shouldn't have. Anyways, we've built our settler now. We've just bought it with money, and now we have a choice. I think a worker is a good choice here. We want to be able to start clearing off these forests, building encampments on the silk so that we can start gathering them, and potentially we've got some interesting resources near here. Now the game goes ahead and recommends where to build. It suggests here because we'd get access to the marble, I suppose, and the wheat, and I guess dyes potentially. Our other choice would be to head up to the hills. We could get some stone and some gems, some cattle, some cotton. If we go over this way, we have yeah, they're all decent choices. You know, there's not really a wrong move here. I'd say let's go over here. Because if we go over here as well, we cut off other people being able to walk through this peninsula, and then we can eventually secure a city down here if we so desire without having to worry about people being able to walk through. Okay, now we have to be a bit careful here because we are undefended. Alright, luckily enough, there's not a barbarian encampment right there, because if there was one, we would lose our settler, and we would have to go change production to a spearman and go get him back. Alright, now we have a choice between building on this forest here, getting all these resources and being a bit closer to the wheat and the cows, or between going here and being closer to the horses and dyes. I'm going to take this location, because wheat and stuff will help my city grow a bit faster. Building on the forest, I believe, might also give us an initial boost to our tools. Let us find out. Alright, so we've built York, and now we have a choice of what to build here. The opening choice, always shrine. We got a monument for free because of our social policy. A granary, which should be potentially a good choice as well. A stoneworks can actually be possible here as soon as we improve the marble near the city, which is actually very cool. A granary will help our city grow faster. Or we could get a unit of some sort. I'm going to go ahead and get a granary, and so that we can have more production in future, because that way our city will grow faster. However, it looks like we've picked a place that doesn't really have food, per se. And we are also now losing happiness, which is, oh, right, okay, that's why we're, okay. Okay, I see how it is. So here's our problem. Our problem is that we are unhappy, and that makes us unhappy. That's a true story. So there are a few different solutions to this. We could build a building that creates happiness, however, we don't have those yet. We just got enough faith as well to found ourselves a pantheon, so maybe we can get something here with happiness. Goddess of Love would give us 1 happiness and fix that. Sacred Waters would not give us happiness. Or we could pick another Pantheon ability, and then hope that we fix our happiness problem. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. Okay, let's go through them one by one. +1 culture from shrines, that would be a kind of general safe choice. Tundra tiles without forest, no thanks. Desert tiles, no thanks. 30 health healed per turn if adjacent to a friendly city. Potentially useful, but again, not super important right now. God of Craftsmen, also potentially useful. God of the Open Sky. Culture from Pastures. Goddess of Festivals, Goddess of Love. Messenger of the Gods. Geez, there's some very good choices here. Wow. I don't even know what we should do with this. I feel like happiness is kind of the choice we should make here, because there's an immediate need for that. Alright, we founded our pantheon here. And we need to also fix our happiness problem. Actually, ooh, We've just met Carthage. Consul Dido of Carthage. Consul, I think, is the title you get if you're freedom for social policy. Okay, cool. Well, good to meet you there, Consul Dido. Glad you have a boat. I hope that doesn't end up hurting our relationship if you end up using the boat for something. Oh, great. How great. You've given us some gold for an embassy. That seems like a common theme among everybody. Glad to hear it. We'll soon be putting embassies in other people's places as well, because we soon will have writing. Alright, Dido's just gone ahead and entered the classical era, which means they're a bit more advanced than us. Or they're just a little bit less balanced than us in terms of technology. Right, so we've just gotten writing. Now we have to take a look here. We could go into the classical era by taking one of these four, or we could stick around and gather one of the last ancient era texts that we don't have. I'm going to go ahead and grab philosophy, see if we can't get ourselves an early religion. That seems like a decent choice. Although that is a lot of turns. We could get Masonry faster, and that would mean that we could improve the marble. Or we could get trapping, which would mean we could get deer, ivory, fur, and truffles. Or sailing. Are there any sea-based resources near us? Doesn't look like it. No, okay, so that's not super important. I'm gonna go with Masonry because it's gonna be done 3 times as fast as what philosophy was. But then we'll go with that after. That seems like a fair compromise. You'll notice there's a little thunderbolt icon in our cities. That means they have followers of our pantheon, the goddess of love, which is good. Good stuff to have. Soon we'll have ourselves an actual religion, like one of the established religions, enhanced religions, I believe they're called. Then we can start actually evangelizing that, which will give us various benefits if we can do it well. Yes, it's interesting the way that they've dealt with the whole religion system. It's very different from the rest of the way that the Civ works. It's the most dissimilar to the other things in Civ, in my humble opinion, which is why it's good as an expansion, because otherwise it's not just like a new resource or anything. Like, it does different things. And it's used, the mechanics they're different enough to make it seem like a whole new system, and to make me be thinking in a way that I wouldn't be thinking if it wasn't installed, because I've played this quite a lot. Cool. Alright, 1610 BC, we are just chugging along through the ancient age here. Good stuff. We're getting ourselves a bit more gold as well, and our workers should be done out of London soon. I'm not going to be speeding up this game's footage because to be honest, effort, and that'll mean more time before you or per recording, which would be bad. So let's go ahead and not do that, and just keep me talking over pretty much nothing happening, because you can tell it's a good show if nothing is happening. That's how things work. Have you ever seen a sitcom? That's how they work. Or reality TV. That's also how they work. Although in reality TV, they yell about things instead of talking about things when nothing is happening. But besides that, basically the same concept as me. That's right, Dratnos is now a reality TV show, set in Civilization 5. York demands sugar. Too bad, York. So the way that demands work is that sometimes a city will pick a resource that it doesn't have, a luxury resource, and it'll be like, we want this, and if you give it to us, we'll have a We Love the King Day. And if we have a We Love the King Day, then we'll increase our growth rate for quite a while, which is pretty good. It's a good thing to do if you can. Like, if you have a choice between something that'll start one of those days and something that won't, all other factors being relatively equal, it's almost always worth making the extra effort, even if it's a little bit of extra. It's almost always worth making a little bit of extra effort to start off a We Love the King Day. Although not that much. I see a lot of people going way out of their ways to start one, and that's not a good call in my opinion. Alright, Haile Selassie wants to give us an embassy in exchange for an embassy. Good deal. So now we get vision of their capital, and we'll get to see it as it grows, I believe. Alexander's gone ahead and entered the classical era. Let's go ahead and pop up our diplomacy screen, have a quick chat with everybody, and make sure we can get some embassies into their places. Hello. I would like you to accept an embassy, please. Okay, what do they want for it? They want 25 gold. You gave us 21. Hang on here. Oh, that is horrible. Inflation, man. Okay, fine. But the embassy's nice because we don't know where Carthage is. Okay, now we do. Oh, we should have just explored down when we were exploring here. That was, that turns out to have bitten us in the butt there. Let's talk to Alexander. Hello, Alexander. Can we have an embassy, please? Nope. Okay. Well, 25 gold it is then. I guess that's the
Nice.
kind of standard for an embassy. And of course, Boudica. Maybe she'll accept 24 gold. Gold. 24. Pose.
Ymlaen.
Oh, seriously? Wow, that's pretty rough. They're not willing to give an inch. Okay, let's take a look now. We know where an embassy reveals a capital. Oh, did we talk to Greece? We did. Okay, we did. Greece is down. Their hoplite moved a long way. They're down, it looks like, at the tip of modern-day South Africa. And we've got Carthage here in the modern-day United Arab Emirates. Addis Ababa, we've already discovered that, of Ethiopia. And Edinburgh of the Celts, the Scottish, who is quite close to London, again. Although in modern-day China versus modern-day India instead of the different parts of the Great Isles of Britain. Or the Great Britain Isles. Those are the ones. York's gone ahead and grown a little bit. The architecture of cities actually changes as you advance through the ages. Also, York seems to be in a bad place for growing.
Those whose walls already rise.
Okay, so here's the problem, is that we're unhappy again because we've grown. Also, we've got enemy spearmen, so the barbarians are getting better, which is going to be problematic because he's probably going to come and try and kill our worker. So instead of manually controlling the worker, I'm going to go ahead and have him do it. Not manually. And now we have a few more choices. First off, let's go ahead and pop into York here. We could actually, if we got 150 gold, we could buy this and increase our rate of growth quite significantly. So we may end up doing that. However, we have a more immediate problem related to happiness. Now, we'll fix that as soon as we can work this silk. That'll increase our happiness by quite a bit because it's a luxury resource. But until then, we're going to be in a bit of a rough spot. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting stuff towards the library to help us research faster. And also, let's take a look at what we can research. We could, again, go with sailing or trapping. Mathematics, which is primarily a military upgrade, actually. Construction, which would get us the composite bowman. Colosseum, which would be for happiness, potentially a good call, actually. Or ironworking, philosophy, drama, and poetry. You know, I'm actually going to go with construction, because I feel like happiness might end up being a little bit of an issue for us. Something that we'll have to be juggling with a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe we'll be fine. Yeah, okay, I saw that coming. Workers retreat, city bombard, and we're fine. All right, that was pretty good. And you guys wait here this turn. Should be fine. Stay inside the walls. Carthage has gone ahead and started worshipping desert folklore. That's a good choice if you are unfortunate enough to start off in modern-day United Arab Emirates, because the extra faith from desert tiles would mean that you're going to be producing an awful lot of faith. And at 600 faith, we get a chance at a great profit. How about that? All right, let us fire some missiles here. Ooh, down go another 2. We've done another 20 damage to them. All right, they're certainly weak, and luckily there's nothing for them to pillage. That's the most annoying thing that barbarians do, is they just sometimes go onto your territory and start pillaging things. But luckily enough, there's not much they can pillage because we have no improvements built yet. All right, social policy time. We have a choice between oligarchy, which would mean garrison units cost no maintenance, and cities with a garrison gain range strength. Probably a good choice eventually. Or this is a fix to one of our big problems, which is happiness. We'd get 1 gold, and we'd lose 1 unhappiness for every 2 citizens in the capital. That seems like a great call. Go ahead and grab Monarchy. That moves us from +4 to +6, or +8 here. Or, sorry, from +5 to +8. And from unhappy to happy, which means that everybody's going to be happy again. Huzzah! That's some good news bears, which is pretty rare. Normally we're having bad news bears around here. But now we've got good news bears, which is the best kind of bears. Alright, firing more missiles is what we're doing here. And the enemy's down to 1 spearman. I guess he could run away if he wanted to, which would be kind of annoying. Hopefully he doesn't do that. Hopefully he just stays in range of our lovely missiles. I don't know what exactly he's trying to accomplish here. The barbarian AI is a bit silly, because it makes the decision to be marauding around a city, but it doesn't actually ever make the decision to attack the city. So it doesn't really simulate idiots that well. I mean, it simulates, like, super dumb idiots, but it doesn't simulate how idiots behaved historically in terms of trying to raid cities without having the adequate manpower. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a plantation in 29 turns. We'll lose 1 production from here, but we'll gain 1 gold and 1 food, and we'll connect silk to the Empire's trade network. Or we could just chop down the forest. Constructing a plantation includes chopping down the forest. However, I'm going to start with chopping down the forest, and then I'll go ahead and get going on the plantation. so that because I believe it doesn't all happen, or it'll all happen at the same time otherwise, and I'd rather chop down the forest sooner to get the immediate bonus to our production. All right, keep this going here. Lovely things are happening. Our workers are chopping down trees. Uh-oh, Ethiopia has founded the religion of Christianity. Wow, it'd be funny if these guys were on the Christian side of the Crusades here out of Addis Ababa. So if I remember correctly, there was some crusading action going on, but that city was certainly not on the Christian side of it back when the Crusades were occurring. That's from my limited knowledge based on Assassin's Creed 1, though. So if I'm wrong about that, because Ethiopia might not have been involved, I don't even know. I should probably stop talking about history because I'm not that up on non-American history. I know a little bit. I know a little bit of European history because I actually lived in Europe for a year, but I don't really know too much world history except for like all the like Mesopotamia, founding of civilization stuff, which unfortunately we're already past that stage. Now we're moving into 1350 BC. Things are about to get real. Also, I noticed that the enemy spearmen came from here, so they potentially have a barbarian encampment here, 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 or here. The other option is that they got dropped off by a naval vehicle, which is also reasonable. Either way, it'd be good if we could get a military unit and go ahead and scout down here. That'll probably be our next construction out of London. An unmet player has managed to enter the Classical Era. Okay, there's 2 people now in the Classical Era. We are researching construction, which will bring us there as well. And Greece has started the belief of the sacred path, which gives them culture from jungle tiles. Is that a good call for you, Greece? Where are you, Greece? You're down here. You don't really have any jungle tiles near you, buddy. Maybe some of your other cities do, but otherwise that seems like a fairly terrible choice. Okay, we've cleared off a forest and granted ourselves 60 tools immediately, and now we can start constructing a plantation, which will give us gold, and it'll and it'll get us even more happiness, which will be good because we need more happiness. Because as we get more citizens, unhappiness starts to rise, and it's always a constant battle to keep your unhappiness in check with happiness. All right. Now, lovely workers there making the silk plantation. The second silk is less important to get. It'd mean that we could trade away the benefit of silk to other people, because you don't really get a benefit past the first luxury resource of any one kind. So instead, we'd be like, hey, I'll give you this silk for 20 turns in exchange for some dollar, which is, of course, the slang for money here in the great United States, in some parts of the great United States. All right, we've got ourselves library coming up next turn. It's going to be good news for London. Let's see what it's... Ooh, okay. Boethius has completed his greatest work, the list of the people who like shiny things the most. That'd be an embarrassing thing to have on your resume as the best work you've ever done. All right, we are 6th in terms of people who like shiny things. However, bear in mind that we did spend 1,100 something of it on getting our settler for building York. Okay, let's choose ourselves a production. I feel like military is a good choice to go with here. A spearman is probably a better choice for being an aggressor, because an archer... Archers are pretty... if you actually get close to an archer and you attack it in melee, they end up going down fairly fast. And I'd kind of like to have an actual mobile, capable of attacking nearby encampments unit. That's why I'm going to produce a spearman. It's going to be what we're going to do. All right. Things are progressing nicely. Very nicely. Too nicely. I wonder if there's a trap. We are about to enter the Classical Era. All of our fellow civilizations are getting there a bit before us, which is a shame. We need to be stepping up our science, I guess. We should see if we can find a place that'll help us with that. I don't know exactly if there's any kind of location specifically that helps you get science more. I know there are certain improvements that are specific to having certain resources nearby, and some of them might include science, but none of those actually jump to mind. Most of them are tools-based or food-based. So, could be wrong on that. There could be nothing we could do specifically besides just building more libraries. All right, we're doing well here. Getting this plantation done is going to be happening in just a few turns now. You can see it's finishing up here, although the ground looks pretty much the same as it did when they started, so maybe not. Getting ourselves a bit more faith. As soon as we get to 600 faith, we get a chance at a great profit. Wonder how that'll turn out. And we're about to finish construction, which means we are about to enter...
3 things are to be looked to in a building.
Nice,
stand
nice,
on the
okay.
right spot.
Now we've got composite bowmen available, colosseums for happiness, which is a good choice. The terracotta army, which is a good wonder. Well, it's not that good, actually. It's a wonder. I remember in one game, I believe it was Age of something. Age of Legends? Maybe? The Terracotta Army was a wonder that gave you a unit every 30 seconds, and it was absurdly overpowered. I loved it. And, of course, constructing a lumber mill, which is another good choice. So, cool stuff.
The king's might is greater than human, and his arm is very long.
Yes, we are now the king's might, blah, 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 in the classical era, which is it's cool. Our cities should go ahead and change over to new classical-looking-y cities, although maybe not, actually. Now we've got a new research to choose, which we will do next time on Dratnos' Civilization 5 Gods and Kings Game of the Year Edition Let's Play. Yes. My name has been Dratnos. I'd appreciate it if you could like, favorite, comment, subscribe. All those buttons actually help me out a great deal. Thank you everybody for watching. Goodbye.